So today we'll look at renal failure. So there are two different types of renal failure. One is acute, the other is chronic. Okay. Now acute renal failure, if we start off with ARF, this is also called acute renal failure ARF. Okay. This is CRF. Now acute renal failure is a condition that will progress very rapidly, as the name suggests. यहाँ पर the condition is very acute. The patient will mainly have oliguria or sometimes even anuria. ठीक है. We talk about ARF. Patients will present with oliguria, very low amount of urine being produced, or no urine being produced altogether. Sometimes that also happens. That is inuria, and there will be a sudden increase in their metabolic waste products in their blood. Okay, because they are not able to urinate properly, waste products will start accumulating in their blood, and consequently uremia will develop. So those waste products will specifically be urea and creatine. Urea and creatine, which are waste products that are supposed to be thrown out of your body in urine, because the patient is not able to urinate properly, these will start getting accumulated, and the collection of both of these will lead to the patient having uremia. Yeah. Now, if we talk about the causes of ARF, these are categorized into three classes. One, we have pre-renal causes, then we have intrarenal causes, and finally post-renal causes. So this classification is based on how it is occurring, how acute renal failure is occurring. Okay. Pre-renal causes will mainly occur. See, यहाँ पर the cause is sudden decrease in blood flow. Pre-renal cause is because of a cardiological condition, in the sense that there is either, let's suppose, inadequate cardiac output, decreased cardiac output, or it can be that is not carbon monoxide, cardiac output है वो, यहाँ पर hypovolemia, blood volume has decreased significantly, or any other vascular disease which is causing decreased perfusion to kidney. Essentially blood is not reaching kidney. That can, those all are causes of pre-renal damage to your nephron. ठीक है. Sudden decrease of blood flow to the nephron, leading to acute renal failure. That's the first one. Intrarenal causes, यहाँ पर there is renal tissue which is getting damaged directly. So for example, let us suppose the vascular disease of arteries and arterioles within the kidney. So arterioles, especially within the kidney, those are getting damaged, or there is acute tubular necrosis, so the glomeruli are getting damaged from within. Maybe there is ischemia, there might be a nephrotoxin, so the person has consumed some sort of nephrotoxin that is causing kidney damage, direct kidney damage. So all of these intrarenal causes will directly deal with kidney damage, direct primary kidney damage. So acute tubular interstitial nephritis हो सकता है, या pyelonephritis हो सकता, wherein the kidney directly is getting damaged. Post renal causes will mainly deal with obstruction with the flow of urine. ठीक है. This obstruction can occur anywhere. Now, this will occur along the renal tract. It can occur in collecting duct. Sometimes you will have a mass that is present in the lumen of your, you know, urinary wall, or it can be an external compression as well. So, for example, let us suppose in the surrounding structures near the lower urinary tract, there are tumors that are developing. Okay, anywhere near the urinary tract or the ureters or the bladder, neck, urethra, any of these are being compressed. If they are being compressed, those can also lead to acute renal failure. Okay, one or the other type of obstruction, all of those types of obstructions will fall under post renal causes of ARF. Clinically, if you look at the clinical features, now there are three major patterns that we will see in patients who have acute renal failure. First of all, you will see acute nephritis. That too, it'll be like a syndrome. So, syndrome of acute nephritis meaning see acute nephritis हो रहा अगर patient को, it is generally associated with streptococcal infection. The patient generally has both streptococcal glomerulonephritis or they have RPGN, rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis. The patient will generally show mild proteinuria, hematuria, edema, and mild hypertension. All the conditions that you see in a patient having nephritis, all of these will be seen in this patient. ठीक है, जो अगर renal failure हो रहा because of acute nephritis, these features might be seen. So the features include mild proteinemia. You might see hematuria, edema, as well as mild hypertension. ठीक है, that is one type of clinical features that you can see. Then another one or another pattern of feature that you can see is uh, tubular pathology, or essentially tubular damage syndrome accompanying tubular pathology. Now in this condition what happens is there is direct damage to the tubular cells. ठीक है, आपके PCT में especially जो cells है, those are getting damaged, and there is acute kind of damage wherein those tubular cells are undergoing necrosis. ठीक है, there is a lot of damage, and it is very progressive damage, meaning it is occurring very very quickly, and generally it will be characterized in three stages to get the tubular damage that is occurring in these patients. So clinical features itself of acute renal failure, those patients can show three different types of features or three different patterns. Some of them will show features of acute nephritis, this one. Some of them might show tubular pathology. In tubular pathology, generally three different stages will occur. Initially, the patient will be oligouric or oliguric. ठीक है, wherein for almost 7 to 10 days their urinary output will be less than 400 ml. ठीक है, 400 ml per day. Initially there will be oliguric, then slowly your body will start recovering. ठीक है, tubules will start healing and urinary output will increase. That is called diuretic phase. The patient's urination will become somewhat normal. Finally will be phase of recovery. In diuretic phase, the patient has not recovered completely. They are on the way of recovery. Okay, they have not completely recovered. In phase of recovery, now what happens is, um, see, full recovery will not occur in all patients. People who have acute renal failure and who are showing tubular pathology, in half of those patients, you will see that. So 50% of patients who have tubular pathology and they are developing acute renal failure, 50% of those patients will heal completely. The other 50% patients will die. Okay, it will terminate in death. So full recovery is not in all patients. Phase of recovery or full recovery essentially will occur only in 50% cases. Now it does not mean that the other 50% will die then and there, but they will eventually die if their tubules are not recovering properly. That is the second type of syndrome that you will see. Third one will be prerenal syndrome. Prerenal syndrome is generally occurring due to a secondary disorder, in the sense that the kidney damage itself is secondary. So in this, the glomeruli, neither the glomeruli nor the tubules are getting damaged. Okay, there is some other disorder that is causing acute renal failure. Okay, it is a completely different, generally it is idiopathic. Okay, more often than not it is some inflammatory damage or something or the other which is causing acute renal failure. It does not mean that the glomeruli will get damaged or the tubule will get damaged, but the patient will have acute renal failure. They will not be able to urinate properly. They might have blood coming out of the urine and all of that. So those are the three general clinical features that are associated with acute renal failure. Now coming to chronic renal failure. This is a more long lasting disease. ठीक है, progressive and irreversible deterioration of renal function will occur, and slowly renal parenchyma will get destroyed. You will see several sites where necrosis is occurring, and you will see several of these nephrons dying and damaging, getting damaged. Essentially what will happen is that patient itself will die because the number of nephrons in their body will significantly decrease. So what is happening is, let us suppose the patient has acute renal failure or whatever condition which is causing damage to their kidney, and it goes on for a long period of time, wherein they are diagnosed with chronic renal failure. What you will see in their kidney or in their renal function, with respect to their renal function, is that their renal function will get deteriorated, their kidneys will not function properly, and there will be slow destruction of the parenchyma of the kidney, eventually leading to death. That death is happening because your nephrons are dying, or the patient's nephrons are dying, and there is not sufficient number of nephrons left for the person to be able to survive, essentially. Now, if you look at the causes or the etiology of this, there are two main causes, or the two main pathologies, okay, which chronic renal failure is associated with. Two major groups of pathologies that are associated. One is glomerular pathology. So there is a problem in the glomerulus. The other is tubular interstitial pathology. So there is a problem in the tubules and the interstitium of the patient. If you look at the first one, see, the most of the cases of chronic renal failure that is occurring because of glomerular pathology, the patient already has some sort of glomerulonephritis. Okay, generally they either have chronic glomerulonephritis, and that chronic glomerulonephritis is developing because of either membranous glomerulonephritis, yeah, MPGN, yeah, lipoid nephrosis, या फिर anti-GBM membrane nephritis. One or the other type of glomerulonephritis patient को already है, that is developing into chronic renal failure or chronic glomerulonephritis, which is turning into chronic renal failure. Okay, so they are already suffering from a glomerulonephritis which is developing into chronic renal failure. GN, prolonged GN into CRF. Tubular interstitial disease is occurring because of other reasons. So इसमें क्या हो रहा, the patient either has damage to their kidneys, prolonged damage to their kidneys because of drugs. So they have been taking some certain medication for a long period of time which is nephrotoxic, let's suppose, or they have an autoimmune disorder like Sjogren's disease, yeah, SLE, or the patient has EI disease, autoimmune disease like SLE or Sjogren's, या फिर they have infection, mycoplasma infection, या फिर strep infection, sometimes brucellosis, या legionella. All of these for a long period of time, these patients are suffering from these infections for a long period of time, and that is causing accumulated damage to their tubules and their interstitium. What happens is that their tissue will not be able to reabsorb and secrete important constituents properly. So what will happen is there will be a lot of excretion of important constituents. So for example, calcium and certain constituents that are supposed to be reabsorbed back into your body, those will be secreted out. Okay? So the tubule and interstitium are getting damaged to such an extent that their ability to reabsorb and secrete important constituents will be completely lost, because of which urine will become very diluted sometimes and large volume of urine will be secreted. Okay? So that is in tubular interstitial cause. Now clinically, if you look at the clinical features, you will see a lot more features when compared to ARF, because this is occurring over a long period of time. Okay? Now, clinical features are divided into primary and secondary uremic features. The patient will develop uremia, obviously, because they are having chronic renal failure. Kidneys are not working for a long period of time, and waste products will start getting accumulated. So, they will have primary uremic manifestations and secondary uremic manifestations. Primary uremic manifestations will occur something like metabolic acidosis. Patients will have hyperkalemia. Okay? Potassium will start accumulating in the blood. Sodium and water imbalance will occur. glomerular filtration rate will go down. Okay, so the patient is having metabolic acidosis, they are having hyperkalemia. Okay, potassium level is increasing, sodium and water imbalance. ठीक है, उसके अलावा the patient's GFR will go down, glomerular filtration rate will significantly go down. If GFR is going down, creatinine will also start getting accumulated. Water is not able to pass through your Bowman's capsule properly. Hyperuricemia occurs because of decreased this thing, decreased GFR की वजह से hyperuricemia occurs. ठीक है, and eventually what will happen is azotemia, a lot of waste products especially of protein metabolism will start accumulating in the patient's blood, and you will see urea, creatinine, phenol starting to accumulate inside the patient's blood. That will lead to azotemia, nitrogen compounds being accumulated inside the patient's blood. That is azotemia. Okay, those nitrogen compounds are primarily occurring, or nitrogen compounds are getting accumulated because protein metabolism के जो end products रहते हैं, those are not being thrown out. Okay, that will lead to problems, fluid electrolyte imbalance and all of that. Now secondary manifestations or secondary uremic manifestations, these are extra renal. Okay, so damage is occurring outside of the kidney. There is already damage to the kidney, that damage is progressing in such a way that other organ systems are getting affected. So for example, agar prolonged fluid electrolyte imbalance occurs, or prolonged acid imbalance, the acid base imbalance occurs, the patient will start having arrhythmias, cardiac problems. Okay, especially because of fluid retention, यहाँ पर sodium and water retain हो रहा ना, because of that hypervolemia occurs. If hypervolemia occurs, the patient can have hypertension and other cardiovascular problems. There might be pulmonary congestion. Okay, respiratory system will start getting affected. Heart failure might occur in the patient. Congestive heart failure might occur. Pulmonary congestion might occur. Okay, kidneys are not working properly. They are not able to throw out excessive amount of fluid, and it'll have to go somewhere. They will start getting accumulated in your lungs. Patient's skin will get affected, specifically their integumentary system. Urinary pigment, urobilin, जिसको बोलते हैं ना, urochrome, urobilin, that will start getting accumulated on the patient's skin, and it will give a yellowish discoloration to the patient's skin. Um, because erythropoietin is getting affected. If kidney is getting damaged, erythropoietin will not be produced. If erythropoietin is not being produced, the patient will have anemia. ये होता, their digestive system will get affected. If a patient has azotemia for a long period of time, it will cause mucosal ulcerations. ठीक है, on the lining of the stomach, the patient will have mucosal ulcerations. Some patients will have their bone structure being affected, so skeletal muscle will get affected. The patients will have osteomalacia. Deficiency in vitamin D will lead to osteomalacia. Some patients will have elevated amount of parathormone, hyperparathyroidism होता. थोड़े लोगों को ऑस्टियाइटिस फाइब्रोसा होता. ठीक है, their bones will become abnormally weak and they will become deformed. All of these are secondary clinical features of chronic renal failure. Primary features will already be very problematic, and because of them, secondary clinical features might also occur where other organ systems are getting affected because of damage to their kidneys. So that is about renal failure. If you have doubts, or if you want me to ask, if you want me to repeat anything, please feel free to ask. Okay. Now, coming to renal carcinoma. Now, most of renal carcinomas are adenocarcinomas. Adenocarcinoma होता है, कभी कभी renal cell carcinoma भी होता. It is also called hypernephroma. ठीक है. Now, almost 70 to 80% of renal cancers will be a carcinoma. ठीक है, renal carcinoma होता. Almost in 70 to 80% of cases where patients have renal cancer, it is a carcinomatous type of cancer, and it will mostly occur in men who are about 50 to 70 years of age, in between 50 to 70 years. ठीक है. There are several causes. Some of the common causes will be tobacco smoking or tobacco chewing, whatever they do, chronically that too. Asbestos exposure. So people who are exposed to asbestos, in the sense that people who work in asbestos industry or people who are selling asbestos for a long period of time, उन लोगों के अंदर हो सकता है ये. It can happen in women, especially women who are obese or who are on estrogen therapy. Estrogen therapy can be used depending on which time you are using estrogen. It can be used both as a contraceptive, and it can also be used to increase fertility. Depends आप कब use कर रहे हैं estrogen. ठीक है. In any case, if the lady is taking estrogen supplementation for whatever reason she does, uh, that puts her on a higher risk for renal carcinoma. Hereditary causes है, especially if the patient has cystic diseases of kidney, analgesic nephropathy, abuse of analgesics, especially NSAIDs, because they are nephrotoxic. If patients start taking NSAIDs for a long period of time, it can cause analgesic nephropathy. Family history, almost 4 to 5 times higher risk in patients who have family history. First degree relatives में किसमें तो भी अगर renal carcinoma है तो there is a good chance that you might also develop it. And finally, hypertension. These are all the causes that can cause renal carcinoma. Tobacco smoking or chewing, asbestos exposure, women who are obese or on estrogen therapy, hereditary causes, so family history है या cystic diseases है family में, they will have a higher chance. Analgesic nephropathy, where the patients, nephrons are getting damaged because of abuse of this thing, painkillers. Yeah, the patient has hypertension. Now, pathologically, you will see that the tumor itself will arise from either of the poles. ठीक है. जो किडनी के पोल्स रहते हैं, so for example, let us suppose this is the kidney, this is the upper pole and this is the lower southern pole. ठीक है. Upper pole, lower pole, जैसा भी बोले आप. And more often than not, it will arise from the upper pole. It will be a single tumor. Mostly, it is a single tumor. Sometimes it can be bilateral. ठीक है. And what you see is that this tumor is golden yellow in color. ठीक है. Goldenish yellow, very big type of tumor, and you will see visible papillae on the tumor. ठीक है. It will have a papillary kind of structure. तो ऐसा 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 papillae type रहता tumor, big yellow, goldenish yellow color. If you cut open the tumor, you will see that it has several areas where there is ischemic necrosis, and you will see a lot of areas where hemorrhage is occurring inside the tumor itself. You will see small spots of ischemic necrosis, and you will see spots of hemorrhage, foci of hemorrhage, small focal areas where hemorrhage is occurring. Now, another significant characteristic of the renal carcinoma is that sometimes these tumors will act as thrombus, ठीक है, especially in the renal vein, and they might extend to inferior vena cava, where they are acting as thrombus, and they are blocking the passage of blood. Sometimes that can also occur. Okay, not always, but kabhi kabhi ye tumor themselves will act as thrombi, and they will block flow of blood to your kidneys or to your nephrons by blocking either the renal vein or by blocking the extension from the inferior vena cava. Okay. Now, there are two special features that you will see in patients who have renal carcinoma. Special features क्या, the common types of renal carcinoma essentially. One is clear cell type. So almost 70% of patients who have renal carcinoma will have clear cell type of renal cell carcinoma. इसमें क्या होता? The cytoplasm is completely clear. That is why it is called clear cell. So cytosol is clear. What will happen is, this is clear specifically because that cytoplasm will lose all of its glycogen granules, and it will lose all the lipids. Okay? Whenever it is developing into a tumor, it will lose all the glycogen and it will lose lipid, because of which it will look very clear type of cell. Okay? And majority of these clear cell tumors are very well differentiated. You will be able to see clear distinction between cells. Okay? You will see vasculature appearing in that area, you will see trabeculae. It will be a very solid type of tumor. Okay? This is the most common. Then the next most common will be papillary type. papillary type of renal cell carcinoma. This will occur in 15% of cases. Now, as the name suggests, यहाँ पर papillary type of growth है, ठीक है? So, papillary growth will be something like this, almost like a cauliflower, ठीक है? Almost fungating, but not exactly fungating, not to that extent. ठीक है? If you look at under a microscope, you will be able to understand what is a papillary growth as such. Now, anyway, uh, these tumor cells are arranged in a papillary pattern, and they will have a very fibrovascular kind of stock. So, what will happen is these tumor cells will look cuboidal, and they will have a very small nucleus. Small round nucleus will be present. Sometimes you can see special structures, laminated calcified structure called samoma bodies inside the tumor itself. Samoma bodies inside the tumor, the papillary type of tumor, you will be able to see certain cells that have become laminated and they have become calcified. They'll be harder. Those structures are called samoma bodies. Okay? Characteristic of papillary type of renal carcinoma. Now, other than that, you can also have chromophobe type of renal carcinoma, sarcomatoid type of renal carcinoma, or collecting duct type of renal carcinoma. But these are generally rarer. Fewer patients will have this, especially collecting duct type. Very rare type of renal carcinoma. Okay. Clinically, what you will see in these patients who have this type of renal carcinoma is that they will have hematuria, blood in their urine, they will have flank pain, and they will have a palpable abdominal mass. Wherever the tumor is occurring, that will be very palpable. So if you touch that place, the patient will have a very tender kind of pain. It will be palpable. Then the next type of renal carcinoma will be a nephroblastoma. इसको विल्स ट्यूबर भी बोलते हैं. Now, this is a very primitive type of renal epithelial tissue, or the embryonic tumor जो रहता वो है ये, ठीक है? From primitive cells generally occurs in children, ठीक है? Children who are in between the ages of 1 to 6, between 1 to 6 years of age, ठीक है? Young children के अंदर this is a abdominal malignant kind of tumor, and इसमें क्या होता, once they are born, some of the primitive cells which is present in their mother's womb, those will, so these primitive cells, when the baby had, the fetus had essentially during their growth period, some of them will be retained, and these primitive cells essentially will act as a tumor. They will start proliferating, and they will be either renal epithelial tumors or mesenchymal kind of tumors. So the tumor itself will become very large on top of the kidney, and sometimes it will be a very big spherical mass to such an extent that it might even replace the whole of the kidney. ठीक है, इतना बड़ा हो जाता है ये. And generally it will be a solitary kind of tumor. ठीक है, most of nephroblastomas, almost 90% of the times, it is a solitary tumor. Single tumor will occur, and it will be unilateral, meaning only one kidney is getting affected. In rare cases, in 5 to 10% of cases, it can be bilateral. Okay, bilateral type of tumor. So both the kidneys are getting affected. If you cut open this tumor, it will look like the flesh of a fish. Okay, it will be grayish white in color. Sometimes it will be cream yellow color. Okay, depends. Kabhi kabhi it will be creamish white, or it will be grayish white, or yellowish, creamish yellow kind of discoloration, very pale color. And you will see that this is a very soft type of tumor. It is not a very hard tumor. If you open the tumor, you will see that there are several areas, small areas, where there is necrosis occurring. Okay, necrosis can be seen, and hemorrhage can be seen inside the tumor, and you will see a lot of you know cells proliferating there. So inside you will see anaplastic tumors, you will see tubules, small primitive tubules, primitive glomerular structures, poorly formed glomerular structures. Sometimes you will see mesenchymal elements, so you will see skeletal muscle, cartilage, bone inside the tumor itself, वैसे resembling cells रहते. ठीक है, it will not function as a kidney, but it is essentially a tumor which has primitive cells of the kidney. So you will see all of those structures. Sometimes even some mesenchymal elements come into the tumor. That is why you see, जो mesenchymal origin से cells बन रहे, so skeletal muscle जिससे बनता या cartilage जिससे बनता, bone जिससे बनता, वो पूरे दिखने लगते tumor में. So that is about renal carcinoma. You only have two types of renal carcinomas or renal tumors as such. The next class will start with cystitis. Okay.